So, the SS City of Benares, or more well known in the ship community as the Ship of Children, was one of the worst maritime disasters in British history, involving children in the Second World War. Now, let's cover the specifics of the ship before we get on with the history of this vessel. Now, the ship measured 148.2 meters long, 19.1 meters wide, and a 9.1 meter draft. She was 11,081 gross registered tons and fitted with 3 steam turbines powering through a single shaft and produced a speed of up to 15 knots. The ship was built by Barclay Curle & Co. in Glasgow in the mid-1930s, and the ship would be launched on August 5, 1935, and would be completed and ready for a maiden voyage in October 1936. Now, the city of Benares was owned by the Ellerman City Line Limited, and she would go from Bombay to Karachi, and the ship served as the flagship of the Ellerman's fleet, and being the most modern, being fitted with 2 funnels. The ship would continue on this route for the remainder of the interwar period. On 3 September 1939, the ship was making her way back to England when news of war began. The ship had rerouted to Cape Town, South Africa, and all passengers were disembarked there. In Cape Town, Benares was fitted with guns for self-defense and her civilian colors painted grey. In May 1940, with the growing threat of German air raids and a possible invasion, it led to many offers from overseas governments to refuge the children of Britain. This led to the formation of the Children's Overseas Reception Board to facilitate the evacuation of children from Britain to British dominions, such as Canada, Australia, New Zealand and South Africa. The Advisory Council of the CORB were tasked with the application for the settlement, sorting, selecting and approving the children, contacting their parents and arranging parties at ports and seeing them off. It also had the Dominion authorities about reception and the care of the children and their eventual return after the war. The city of Benares being one of the many ships assigned to this operation. Now, on 13 September 1940, the ship left Liverpool bound for Montreal, together with 18 other ships in convoy OB-213. The voyage was going as planned, but bad weather had to stop a few war protocols and force the convoy to sail in a straight path rather than a zigzag pattern. On 17 September, the German U-boat U-48 spotted the convoy and would follow the convoy for the next 13 hours. At 23:45 hours, U-48 fired 2 torpedoes at the city of Benares, but luckily both had missed. But 15 minutes later though, U-48 fired another torpedo, and this had penetrated the ship's hull and exploded near the stern. Now the ship was in immediate danger. Thankfully, due to war protocol, all 12 of the ship's boats were already swung out, but the challenge came to actually evacuating. Now, to give you all an idea of the ship's evacuating conditions, the ship was out of power and now rolling in 52 knot winds, with 30 feet, 10 meter high waves in the middle of the night. Boats were being lowered, but the winds had pitched 3 of them into the sea, leaving 9 boats, and of the 9, 2 were properly lowered. And just a half hour later, the city of Benares went under, leaving those on the surface to themselves. Due to the conditions at sea and the risk of losing more ships in the convoy, the destroyers didn't stop to pick up survivors. For 24 hours, survivors were being tossed around in the unforgiving sea, when the H-class destroyer HMS Hurricane had picked up lifeboat number 4, and others in total. The ship had found 105 of the 406 on board and turned back to Glasgow. Lifeboat 12 was missed, and they were left at sea for a further 8 days, when they were spotted on 27 September by an aircraft and later picked up by destroyer HMS Anthony. Unfortunately, 2 of the 45 would later die in a hospital. In total, 148 of the 406 had survived, and of the 100 children on board, only 19 survived. The Allied powers criticized the barbaric actions of the Germans, and there was an outpouring of sympathy for the children lost in the sinking. However, the Germans had defended the attack by stating that the attack as being legitimate military target, and that the British were to blame for allowing them to travel on such ships in the war zone. The captain of U-48, Captain Blythrod, was tried for war crimes for the sinking of the city of Benares, and denied any prior knowledge of there being children on board, and refused to apologize for the attack, and stating that his actions were within the bounds of the military policy at the time. Later reported by the crew of U-48, when the news came to them that children were on board, they expressed deep regret and shock. And that is the end of a video, my friends. I hope you enjoyed it. Of course, this is a tragic sinking. One thing that kind of disgusted me is that the captain of the U-boat, I assume at the trial of war crimes, that he heard that there were children on board, that he didn't even apologize. I found that so disgusting to research, and I was like, where's your kindness to other people? That's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, that kind of disgusted me, like I said. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for all the subscribers who have subscribed to my channel. Of course, that means extremely much. But of course, we are now trying to reach the 600 subscribers, and I know we can do that together, my friends. Please leave in the comments what you thought of this video, because as you all know, that really helps a lot, and I love reading them. So with that out of the way, guys, have a good night or day wherever you are, and we will see each other on the next video. Goodbye.